All right, Alan Watt joined us in the last segment. We just went ahead and went live on PrisonPlanet.tv for the PrisonPlanet.tv members and folks listening on the Infowars.com streams. Those exclusive streams, we'll be skipping some of the breaks for behind-the-scenes discussion with Alan Watt. Alan, because we just went live on TV, recap what's happening with the controlled economic implosion. The key fact you raised that they announced the market was going to die 2 weeks ago. We didn't give them dictatorial powers. Martial law was threatened against congressmen. We had them on, and it was on C-SPAN. We're seeing unprecedented things happen because the New World Order, as you know, the listeners may not, works in phases. And then they have these jump phases. They build slowly, then they jump. We are entering a jump phase, are we not?
We are. It's long-term plans, very long, in fact, intergenerational. And that's the key to the success of it. It's so slow, and then they hit you, and then slow again for a while till we adapt to the new system, and then they hit you again. But it's all designed to bring us into a global society, this new world order that Bush Sr. talked about. It's also a brave new world type of system, but first we must go through the Orwellian phase of it with the big boots stamping on the face forever. That's what we're going through now with the children ratting on parents, with the government in control of everything that you do economically. There'll be so many regulations now according to what you can buy, according to your status, your actual status to the system, because in this system, eventually there'll be no private property. That's stated already. That's one of their mandates. So they've got to eventually have government coming into private property, gradually taking it all over, and then you're dependent on government for your very survival and for your work and all the rest of it. This is the brave new world they're heading towards, but first they must train us all into it, and it's a training exercise as much as anything else to get the public of the world terrified so that we will accept all of the incredible rules and regulations that are coming down the pike. We will come out of this, as I say, much more with a reduced population, with an economic system that will never, ever be the same again, and we're all supposed to serve what they call the world state. That will be our only duty.
And the key to taking over private property is the carbon tax and the new environmental overlays, which they're now announcing to the public, from the Club of Rome documents when people laughed at us to now implementation.
That's right. The Club of Rome was the main think tank. Now, all these think tanks are connected at the top. There's the pyramid structure, the 1,000 points of light, with the NGOs working for them to bring in social policy. And the Club of Rome stated in their own book towards the first global revolution, the two founders who wrote the book stated that they came up with the idea of blaming the public for something to do with the weather, possibly global warming. That would fit the bill, and we'd all have to adapt and change our lives accordingly to the rules and regulations they would set out, supposedly to save.
And, of course, the current head of the CFR wrote that in 1992 as the adopted policy. He said a pincer attack of fake terror to set up the boot, the hot police state, and then the socialist velvet glove micromanagement of the family, controlling of the business, the watchers in your life through the threat of global climate change. And he said we can claim ice age when it's cold, and then we can inadvertently claim global warming when it's hot.
Yes, that's a fact. And not only that, you see, what we're getting from the media is what we're supposed to be told, the panic and the hype and all the information about the war and so on. But what they don't tell you are the other things that are happening. See, total war has been carried out on the population of the world for years now. With inoculations, that was all part of it too. That helps dumb us down, makes us sick, to reduce the population. It destroys the immune system. And for 10 years solid now, they've been spraying the planet with aerial spraying almost every morning, altering the weather. So they're using a lot of hidden weaponry. That came out from the silent weapons agenda.
And just recently, Alan, it's now the government's admitted they're altering the atmosphere. They're doing other tests. Hundreds of universities and agencies are involved. So they've come out in mainstream papers the last few months and just calmly announced it. Yes,
after the fact, they've been doing it for years. So we're being attacked. The world is being attacked through our food supply. It's all been altered as well. And you don't get big secret organizations coming together from warfare industries to make better carrots or potatoes. That there's something else going on here. And we know for a fact that cancers, for instance, of the stomach is skyrocketing. And that's what they showed when even rats and mice were tested with the GMO vegetables and so on.
I want to tell the police and military, all of you that serve the system, FBI agents, laugh all you want. When you're putting your kid in a coffin, it's not a joke. They are killing us. 1 in 33 with cancer to 1 in 2 males and 1 in 3 females. I'm going to skip this just for the internet audience, prisonplanet.tv. You can watch, if you're a member there, or free on the internet at the InfoWars streams. It's too important. We got Alan on late, so we're going to skip this break and the next with my guest. We'll be back for everybody else in just 3 minutes. Please stay with us. We'll continue to watch the global stock market meltdown by design as they call for a new world order. Alan, why are they now? Why were they ready now? And are they on schedule? Because there is a huge awakening take place, but it didn't matter of 1,000 to 1 phone calls, and that's on record, over 1,000 to 1 in some cases of the people who are against it. Congress was then just threatened with martial law. So it's not just that the public isn't going along with it. Now the establishment doesn't care.
That's correct. Now it seems the right time. These guys, especially with the internet, they can take constant polls, daily polls, because of the traffic on the internet. They know what the public think, what they want, and even where the confusion lies, and they exploit the confusion factor. So it's psychological war, but it's really intelligence gathering as well. These guys don't make mistakes. They know exactly when to hit us, and what a more perfect a time to hit us when they've declared a worldwide war on terror, this vague term. And it isn't until you realize that they're talking about everyone who lives with an idea that the old system is okay, the system they grew up in. Anyone who believes that is therefore a terrorist. These guys are bringing us into the new world order, as George Bush Sr. kept telling us. It's a new world order, a new system of running things, a new way of living. That's the most important thing of all. You won't be able to just breed as you wish to, pass your genes on, pick a mate. All of that's coming through now through different...
That's what they mean, no law of the jungle, which we think of barbarism as law of the jungle. No, they mean the law of the jungle, meeting, marrying who you want, living where you want, owning your own property. No. The rule of the New World Order.
That's correct, and that's what the pyramid stands for. It sits on the wasteland. The wasteland happens to be the profane, meaning the general public. That's what they mean by that.
What do you see happening in the short term?
The short term, governments will come in and gradually take over. Governments don't have to take over everything in any particular sector. As long as they have shares in it, they come in with rules and regulations. That goes with all the different organizations that already receive subsidies, etc., from government. Little homes, even to care for the mentally disabled. Governments come in and demand that you have 2 or 3 stairwells and so many fire extinguishers and so on and so on. Then you end up doing bookkeeping for the government until you can't move for bookkeeping. Yeah,
that sets the precedent in something that sounds reasonable, and pretty soon it's getting a $10,000 fine for dropping a banana peel.
That's right, and they already have the big move on, again, from this quiet organization, this United Nations, that was set up to be the front for world government eventually. It's now getting teeth, and they already have mandated that inspectors go around homes, even through the rural areas, and fine you thousands of dollars if there's even a downpipe from your gutter that happens to have a hole in it, or is bent, or whatever, or plugged. I mean, they're going the whole route of punishment and using economics to punish the public.
But it's all for the earth, so it's okay. Alan, we're going back to the full audience right now. Here we go. Man thinks because he rules the earth, he can do with it as he please. Alan Watt, talk show host, documentary maker, author. We're going to give you his website in just a moment. I'm Alex Jones. We are watching the controlled economic collapse. I forgot to ask John during the break. John, how far away are you from having those audio clips I wanted?
It's done.
It's done. I do not attack zeitgeist addendum out of any malice or anger towards the individual that made it. I don't know their New World Order. I don't know they're trying to co-opt the Liberty or Awakening movement. I agree with a lot of what is in the first zeitgeist, disagree with some of it. Anything that gets you to think outside the box, I think, is overall healthy. But the new one follows exactly what H.G. Wells wrote in The Open Conspiracy, what H.G. Wells wrote in The New World Order, his nonfiction books. that was made into the film Things to Come. The communists, the socialists, funded by the bankers to consolidate the mass into this communal system that the technocrats controlled, they always frame it all in technology and high tech and not having to work and utopia. And what you see in the film Things to Come, made out of, adapted from one of Wells' books, is a call for a world dictatorship of these benevolent secret society, quote, Masons. And they will come in and bomb and kill. They will come in and spray knockout gas on your cities. That's in the book. That's in the film. I meant to put a lot of this in Endgame, but just didn't have time. And then I saw the Corbett report. We put a link up on Infowars.com to an analysis of Things to Come and Blade Runner. And I saw it this morning, and it reminded me of earlier this week when I did a critique of Zeitgeist Addendum,